Do you want to reconsider dropping out of the race? I'm back in.
That's pretty funny.
After Kamala's been in for a sec, I kind of dig Joe Biden.
Yeah.
You guys hear that maybe Joe Biden is perhaps sabotaging Kamala and her campaign?
No, he's going against?
It seems like he's doing a lot. You see him wearing the MAGA hat?
It seems like he's phoning it in.
Yeah, I feel like it seems like there's a lot of shit he's doing.
Is he like, I'll show you to freaking run against
And the
me?
timing is funny because it's right after when Trump says, what do you say? Like, I have a secret. Joe Biden doesn't even like Kamala.
Yep.
And then all of this stuff starts coming out.
Yeah, so there's a theory that people have. Well, like you said,
This is juicy.
Trump grabbed, or not Trump.
Grabbed her by the...
Trump grabbed a chick by the... Yeah, but this is not about that.
Okay.
Oops. So, Joe Biden grabbed the Trump hat from a guy at a rally.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
And then he put it on.
As a goof?
I thought that was really funny.
And that was just a funny little bit, right? And everyone, but then Joe Biden kind of stole the guy's hat. It was kind of crazy.
He just kept it?
He walked away with it?
He walked away with it.
He walked like onto Air Force One.
You can see him walking up the stairs with the hat.
Honestly, if he did that shit while he was running against Donald Trump, he could beat him.
I agree.
Dude, that's maximum funny.
So that was kind of the start of this idea that maybe it's like a total theory that like, oh, maybe he's like messing with Kamala's campaign because, you know, they forced him out basically.
Do you think?
So then, hold on real quick. Then he held, all of a sudden, after not doing a press conference for forever now, he held an impromptu Q&A session to yesterday, and he basically said that me and Kamala Harris are lockstep, constant contact. Everything I do, she was signed off on. She's completely integrated. Her team and my team are locked in together. Basically saying everything that she says, like, you know, I want to do a new path forward and all this stuff. He's like, no. We did all this cool stuff together. Basically linking himself arm in arm with Kamala Harris.
So all Trump has to go like, how come you never did it then? If you say you're gonna do all these things, how come you never did it?
Well, the media has been working so hard to like unlink her and Joe Biden, right?
Yep.
And this kind of like cements them back together.
Yeah.
So even people inside the Kamala campaign are like, what? Why is he doing this? Like, what is going on? So that's kind of a wild thing.
Did you guys see the clip of him, like, he was trying to introduce some guy from, like, the prime minister of, like, I forgot what country it was, and he was, like, gonna announce it, and he goes, who am I bringing up next? Like, he kind of looks around, and everyone's like, what the fuck? I do feel like all the attention's on Kamala, so he gets to phone it in and just fuck around.
Yeah.
Because, like, for a while, leading up to the debate, all eyes were on him to see, like, what's he gonna be like. And then after that, when they realized that, okay, Kamala's gonna be the new lady, nobody gives a shit about Joe Biden anymore.
Yeah.
Also, Joe Biden was on The View last week, and he says, I never fully believed the assertions that somehow there was this overwhelming reluctance to me running again. The fact of the matter is my polling was always in range of beating Trump. Does this sound like a guy who, like, is happy that he stepped back and all this stuff?
He gotta let go, dude.
You know what I mean?
You know, they did say it was a coup.
Oh, yeah.
Like an internal coup.
Yeah. Well, there's also this recording now that just came out from Las Vegas Metro, the police department. They are basically saying, like, when the president was in Vegas,
The medical
a couple
emergency.
months ago, he did a medical emergency, and
Was he staying at the Trump Tower?
he was staying at Trump Tower, he had a Trump hat on.
Same room as us.
And he put him on the glass.
You put him on the glass. Yeah.
Overlooking the sphere.
But no, so the idea is this was just before Biden stepped out of the race with that Twitter post on that Sunday. Remember that? So they're saying, like, did they just medicate him, bring him to Delaware, post that shit, and basically go, hey, dude, you're out? That's another theory. Little fun theory.
Lots of little theories going on.
Theory swirling.
Didn't he make a joke when he was walking out of the interview about like still jumping back into the race?
Yeah, he did.
He like looks
While he's
mad,
walking
like-
away.
And he, like,
Do you want to reconsider dropping out of the race? I'm back in.
That's pretty funny.
Honestly, it's hard for me. After Kamala's been in for a sec, I kind of dig Joe Biden.
Bro, this new
Honestly,
character arc is
I
fun.
know, dude.
Because in that clip where he's like, who am I bringing up next? It was like zany and fun.
Yeah, he's like a fun dad.
Yeah, I was like,
once the pressure's off, he's kind of cool.
yeah, he's chill. You're like, oh, I kind of like this guy.
There's this
Yeah.
clip from his press conference where like all the reporters are just fucking like throwing questions at him, and he literally is like, and he doesn't answer anything.
Oh wow, he doesn't even.
And then the press secretary comes up and like has to like save him shit.
It's just crazy. That's just crazy that people are willing to act like there's nothing going on there. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like
And nobody ever brings up like, hey Kamala, like, why didn't you tell us? Don't you have lunch with him every week? Why didn't you tell us?
yeah, why didn't you tell us?
Like that he's like not there.
yeah.
Like she acts like she found out when we all found out during the debate. And she goes, "Oh my God,
What happened?
can you see what's happening to Biden?"
Yeah. Like it was an overnight change.
I know.
Like she's not in the White House seeing him every day?
Yeah, that's so funny.
What do you guys think of the new law that Mr. Newsom just passed?
The homeless one?
About AI?
What is the new law?
Oh, the meme one?
No, about like no longer needing voter identification to vote in California.
That's I don't know why that would even be a thing.
Why do I need a real ID then?
Why do I need ID to buy cigarettes then?
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
That's insane.
I need the ID to go on a plane.
It passed already?
It passed.
Whoa!
What was? Do you know like
Wait,
what
who
the
voted for that?
Do you know what
That's
the motivation
fucking
was for
crazy.
even making that a like? What is the listed motivation to why they?
To ruin California?
I know that one of the one of the, what do you call it? The
Incentives or whatever?
no, like one of the ways they were campaigning for it, and they kept pushing for it, was they were saying that black people don't have IDs and it's racist. Huh? So they're like, yeah,
Do black people think that though?
no. They think it's racist that people don't think they got IDs.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? I'd be insulted.
It's like when Joe Biden said black people don't have access to the internet, and everyone was like, what the?
Yeah. They're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so
That's
it's
rude as fuck.
It's like pulling on heartstrings of, maybe like
White voters?
of liberal women or whatever, and they're go, oh, these poor black people with no California IDs,
Never
they,
talked to a black
they
person
can't
in their life.
vote because racism, and then so like they're just like, we gotta be able to let people vote.
We gotta make it right.
Yeah.
So
But I don't know if that's what actually happened, but that is one of the things that were being pushed of like.
Gavin Newsom signed a bill on Thursday that bans local governments from enacting laws to require residents to show a valid form of identification in order to vote.
But the real play, right, isn't it what they think is most illegals that come over here generally vote Democrat, so that's how they
Right. Absolutely. But like.
Oh, I don't know any illegals that vote. Period. Like I don't think they go into the voting center and vote.
probably too
So I
afraid.
don't know what the hell the whole scam is.
I have no idea.
That's like, I think maybe like the extreme narrative about it, but there could also just be more simply and more in a much more conniving concept. Just now we won't know voter fraud in general, because you remember hearing about like wait, this dead person voted, this house got a bunch of ballots. It's
Happens
like,
every year.
So now it's like people who don't even exist.
The floodgates are open.
Yeah, there's just suddenly all these votes.
Bro, I told you, right?
How does that work?
There's no IDs that are necessary, so you just get it's now it's just a number.
Probably not a good idea.
In one of my in the Vegas house, I was getting 5 voter registration things in the mail of not even past residents, but all Democrat registrations of different people. And I was like, how the fuck do I like return this or tell them that they don't live in this house? Because you could see the records of who lived there. Nobody.
When I lived here in California, I checked no mail-in ballots. They sent me 4 mail-in ballots anyway. And it's just me and Nikki.
But it had your guys' name.
Had our names on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But I had 5 different people of Democratic registration of random.
So yeah,
names.
the 2 other ballots I got were like the people who used to live in my place. So like, why did I get their ballots? Weird shit.
It is fucking weird.
And so I took me and Nikki's ballots in Vegas for the 2022 election, right? I take Nikki's ballot with me because she doesn't want to go in person to vote, and I'm like, I'll just drop hers off in the box, and then I'm gonna go vote in person. So my vote gets tabulated on the day. A week after the election, I can go to the Secretary of State's website, I can pull up Nikki's ballot, and I can see not processed. It's been a week.
Yeah.
Why has her ballot not been processed? Like, how weird is that?
Damn.
Like, what kind of system is that? Like, and that's what undermines people's faith in the system. when we have an election day, it's supposed to be election day, not week and month. And so people are just like, why are these things happening? It's just very, is it a bureaucracy thing? Like, probably.
Probably all the above.
But it's whack to me. It undermines faith in the system.
Vivek has a pretty cool suggestion about like kind of like extinguishing that whole voter fraud thing, and he said, make it a national holiday, make it in-person voting, and then it's paper ballot counted by humans,
I like that.
and then with voter registration ID that ties the ballot to the address, all this stuff.
Democrats hated
Yeah.
electronic voting machines in 2004.
And that's what's weird to me is because I remember when.
Remember Diebold, the machines?
Yes.
And
Al
John
Gore,
Kerry?
Gore versus.
Well, no, Kerry too.
Oh, Kerry
versus Bush.
Bush.
And
No,
people were
which
saying
was the
Karl
second
Rove
one?
was associated with Diebold, the voting machines.
Yeah, but they're acting like Hillary didn't also say that it was voter fraud. Like everybody, every fucking election.
Obama said that mail-in ballots is a real problem for the
Yeah.
democracy. And
Trump isn't the only president that says that there was voter fraud that went down.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many other presidents in the past that said it.
Yep. But we don't think that, so don't mess with our channel. Thank you.
Or are they too young to remember?
Right. I think so. Well, because, in 2004, everyone was pissed about voting machines. Like, I remember that. And I remember people thought Kerry won.
Everyone knew that the Bush election was stolen.
Yeah.
Because of the voting machines,
yeah.
which they've proven.
Well, because of the ballots. Remember the butterfly ballot in 2000? Where they basically had this ballot that was laid out weird. So hella people accidentally voted for the libertarian candidate instead of voting for Al Gore.
And it split out the votes, yeah.
And then they had those hanging chads and all that shit. So
That's
it was
when
like
like
500
so many new terms entered the dictionary after that.
Exactly. And there was like 500 votes just between Bush and Gore, and they basically decided it with the Supreme Court.
Well, Gore should have won that one.
He should have.
But also that machine that was used, they used the same one in like Malaysia or whatever, and then the company got in trouble for being able to manipulate all that shit through the back end.
Wild.
Yeah.
Why does a voting machine need to be online?
You know what's crazy though?
That's wild.
Wouldn't it be kind of safe to assume that voter fraud for things of this like caliber have probably been happening since the first
Forever.
ever?
Everyone knows that
Every
Kennedy probably lost to Nixon because there was hella voter fraud going on at the time, and Nixon basically stepped down because he did like the right thing, basically saying like, we got to move on. Noble shit.
So we can't stop it.
It's gonna happen.
I don't think you can stop it, but the argument just sounds. It sounds like we're just getting to a point where they're not even trying to mask the efforts anymore. Like the voter ID thing. That's just crazy. Like they're just. I mean, I guess what I was reading is that like they're trying to use it as a way to counterattack local governments from making their own laws on having an ID for voting. That's their claim, but it just sounds so obvious.
Sounds nefarious.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. Like who and there was actually did it pass because of bureaucrats or did it pass because it was put to vote and the citizens voted that way?
Right.
Because there's a lot of laws that pass from unelected officials or people that are just working in office, not because it was voted in.
Well, where's the law then? If it's so true that like black people don't have IDs or whatever, where's the laws about how we can make sure that they can get prescription drugs without IDs then? And all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Like where's the protections for that? Why is it only about voting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the weird part.
Very
Yeah.
strange.
It is weird.
And it's weird that like you would think after like what you're saying, how if voter fraud is that it's definitely probably been happening forever. Maybe it doesn't always swing the result,
Yeah.
but for us to be this far in technology and advancement and we're getting more primitive,
That's weird.
that's the weird part. Yeah, I'm like, shouldn't this be better now? Like in
That is the weirdest
after
thing.
everything we've discovered, or are they just because they're just getting better at fraud?
We don't think there's fraud. Thank you.